You want to do the intro?
No.
Do the intro.
No.
Come on, do the intro.
You are the host, you do the intro.
You
All
do.
of that is
Guys,
being recorded.
stop
Please start.
fighting. Hello and welcome to the podcast.
Okay. Thank you, Palak. So today this is the first SSLA podcast that is going to be happening. I'd like to introduce you to the various speakers that we have here today. We have Sanjana Rastogi, Palak Sharma, Aditya Joshi, and me, Deepida Vikram Singh. So today the topic that we're going to discuss is the Indian education system and liberal arts. Let's just jump right into it. So the Indian education system, what do we think of it?
Considering the current events that have been taking place, it's very obvious that the Indian education system is pushing us to be excessively competitive where it's not necessary. I remember one of our teachers telling us that just a few days back, the 12th standard HSC physics paper was really bad, and a lot of people faced a lot of problems with that paper. And one of the faculty's daughter was called up by a friend, and he said, "You know what? Let's go and protest against this." And the way of protesting was something that was totally unimaginable, because he said, let's go in front of the HSC office and set ourselves on fire. 12th standard kids don't think about that. I mean, you really can't think about setting yourself on fire for a 12th standard exam. I mean, that's not the end of your life. That's just the beginning.
But you started off by saying that we're taking or we're getting competition, or we're getting the idea of competition where it's not necessarily needed. But when you say it's not the end of your life and it's the beginning, it sort of tells you the exact same thing, that you need competition there, but not the kind of competition that is being told to them, and not the kind of competition they're actually deriving from it. Like, the teacher's job and the principal's job and any academician's job in their institute is to tell them that this is the beginning of your life, and the marks you get is going to reflect your college and your university and then your job, because it's their job to do that. But the thing that the students or the generation of today, 12th standard or whichever standard, need to absorb from that is that it's competition, but not competition that you go and kill yourself for.
Yeah. So yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, it just seems like people are studying and driving themselves with this thing of a competition, and they're losing sight of the fact that this, as you said, this is the start of their life. This is the start of their life, and an exam, the marks, it's not what you can do with those marks. It's what how you got to those marks. And if you lose sight of that goal of how you want, or what you want to be,
Right,
and you get encompassed by this whole thing of like marks and marks and marks, then you're going to lose sight of your future.
correct.
Okay, so I would like to give my personal opinion, like how my personal experience rather. So when I was in class 6, I have the same experience as you all three talked about, that in Noida, that there was a drive for a lot of competition, and everybody was just focusing on how many marks everybody gets. And in my personal opinion, that shouldn't be the case. The case should be that we need to understand what is being taught. Most of the things which I learned in India were not even, like, I couldn't even remember them. But when I went to Ghana for my further studies because my parents shifted there, I realized that the education system is very different, because they try and teach you the things in the sense that you don't need to chew and core in exams. There is no status where everybody competes with each other, but they compete with themselves. So the grading system, for example, in IGCSE or in IB, those are international programs, and I understand not everybody has access to them in India because it's very expensive, but still, if you do get access to them, the grading system is very different. You compete with yourself, whereby in case if you get a B, then you just focus on an A. You don't compete with the others that, okay, somebody got an A, so I need to compete with him or her.
Yeah, I get that, because I actually had a very interesting education, because I've done ICSE and then I moved into, as you said, the Cambridge A levels. So I've gone through going through the I guess you could say the muck of the Indian education system, with the mugging and the throwing up onto a piece of paper, and then I moved into A levels. And actually, what I found was that there's a lot of stuff that you can take from the Indian education system which works, but at the same time, that whole concept, that whole notion of competing with yourself is a great thing, and
Doesn't always turn out right.
Yeah.
So I'd like to take on Palak's point of there being competition. Now, when I mean that what I mean by competition is that it's a pressurized competition. It's a competition where you have a set syllabus, you have set subjects, and you have to excel at those, which I feel is not right. For a simple reason that not everybody is good at physics, not everybody is good at biology. You cannot mug up, and there is no point mugging up stuff that you don't feel like using. I totally understand that we do need engineers and we do need doctors, and those subjects are really very important, but not for each and every person on this planet. I mean, there are 7 billion people in this world, and if you are going to a school, you are privileged enough to get education. So you are supposed to be. You should have the freedom of choice to choose what you want to do. And I think this ideology is quite followed in liberal arts.
I understand what you're saying. Exactly what I'm going to say, that there's competition and it should not be like a pressure cooker, like a cutthroat competition. But exactly, I think that's what we come out to having here is a healthy competition. And when you say set syllabus, yeah, exactly. So when you say set syllabus, that's something that SSLA does not have, which is amazing, because it's like, you don't have a book to learn from, you have the entire world to learn from. So when you go and research whatever topic you want from your research paper or from anything that was taught in class to anything that you want to add to class. Yeah. So that's there.
Yeah. So just to add to what you said that there's a set syllabus and in the Indian education system, and I agree with that. But in case if you see, I don't know, I really want to compare it with the international system, and even liberal arts is from the US, so in a way it is international, obviously. So the international system, apart from liberal arts, because that's college education, if we see IG, CSC or IB, there you get an opportunity to select your courses. Like, you're not forced to do physics, chemistry, math, because it's understandable that everybody cannot be a science student.
So you have options that actually help you.
Exactly, choose. And they understand that everybody is not a science student, so everybody is not an art student. And hence, you don't need to do English literature with biology, chemistry, and physics.
Just probably a basic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Basic will be English language.
So just like how we have legal awareness as a core, and like statistics as a core, and also creative writing as a core. You might not like any of these as much as you want to do some other subject, but it's like a basic that will help you do anything ahead.
Yeah, actually, and that's what I love about SSLA, and is that I've managed to, like, once I joined this college, I've actually described it as being a sort of extension of my school, because with the A level syllabus that was there, I could do math with economics, with geography. And there's a huge variation, and like over here I'm doing media with international relations, with legal awareness and statistics, which is just, it's all over the place. But each component is really defining my education and my understanding, and is going to make me a better individual in the future. And that's
like building blocks.
Yeah, and that's what I ultimately take from the liberal arts system, is that it's sort of building. It lays that foundation for which you can build on, and that's what I think actually a lot of Indian education systems lack.
They need that.
Yeah.
And also, like, some people are very confused. At least I was in class 12 that what I need to do. And when after I finished my 12th, and my parents were like, so I did PCM, physics, chemistry, math, and trust me, I really didn't get ABC of it or PCM of it, but I did it because I thought I can do it. And in IB it was not that easy, but my parents were like, so what are you going to do? I was like, I'm going to do liberal arts. And they're like, what? Are you like, because liberal arts in my country was more like people used to go and do drumming over there. There's a major in drumming, major in music, major in
What?
dance. In the
You
US,
should have
yes.
those subjects.
We do. In the US, they do have those subjects. So actually, I applied to the US. And I was like, I want to major in dance. And they're like, what? Okay, let's talk about profession. You need a profession. I'm like, I can figure out a profession out of it. But they're like, no, you need a more streamlined profession. So I understand that the Indian understanding, how the parents see education is very strict and
Most
very
parents.
streamlined.
Yeah.
Like it has to be either engineering, commerce, or arts, either of the three. But I think that's what I didn't want. I wanted to explore different subjects because I didn't know if I really want to be a scientist with PCM or any other person. So liberal arts actually gave me a very good opportunity to
Yeah.
figure that out for myself.
That mixture of
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand because I was also in a similar position after my 12th where I had been forced to take PCMB. I had bio, so I took the trouble.
Wow.
But nonetheless, I enjoyed biology,
In
so
12th.
I did yes.
That's
so
just sad.
So I did quite well in bio, but I did so well in bio that my physics, chem, and maths marks together did exceed the bio marks. So
Wait, why are you becoming,
So-
why are you becoming a doctor or something?
I never really.
I did
I
good
know,
in
I mean,
bios.
all due respect to all the professions, but I was never meant to. I mean, I don't like jobs where I have to sit at one place and do a kind of, a
So now what are you
sedentary job.
majoring in?
Now I'm majoring in media studies and I'm loving it. And my minors are film studies and psychology. I think that's a brilliant combination to have because all three classes I can relate to with like if I'm sitting for media, I can relate it to film studies and psychology. There are a lot of aspects that are common and it helps me understand so much better. And I think liberal arts has also helped my family realize that there are other professions than engineering, doctors, and law. So I think it will develop soon, and I really hope that it develops soon because you can't really sit in. It's the 21st century. You can't still be thinking of only three professions as the
Honestly, yeah.
streamlined professions.
Yeah.
There are other professions. There are, as I said initially, also there are 7 billion people in the world. There are millions of professions you can take up and do well in it.
But it's actually interesting when you look at how these other professions look at us. I stay in the hostel over here, and I swear for the first year, I would say I'm doing liberal arts, and they're like,
What is
so
that?
what is that? Do you like sing and dance and stuff?
And paint, fine arts.
And-
They think
and-
liberal arts is fine arts, and
They-
they think we're stupid, and
Yeah.
they think that's
So I mean, it's like then it becomes a challenge because you have to explain it. That liberal arts is actually a bigger umbrella from what you think of arts, and
because you're an
and-
idiot.
No, some of them I don't know, but like, it's something that comes out even in the hostel. It comes out even when you like go back. When I go back home and
Yeah.
and I
I
meet
totally get
people and they're like, so what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm doing liberal arts. So they're like, oh, so films and all
You
this.
paint and all that.
Yeah,
Films-
paint,
films-
paint and drawing.
And then
Yeah,
it's
paint
like- and
and
then it's
drawing.
like- and then you have
You're
to
an
explain it to
artist.
them and you're like, no, I mean, there's a subject like film studies, but
Films
it's
is
very
too
intensive.
advanced.
It's very intensive.
That's like saying everybody who's doing a science is going to become a scientist. Everyone who's doing an art is going to become an artist. It's not like that. They're like really brainwashed by society that you have to do this and it leads to that.
But I sometimes
Yeah.
like it when they find me stupid.
And I'm like,
When I
oh,
say I'm doing liberal arts, they have that smirk on their face that
and they're like,
So clearly,
yeah.
Joshi likes to like prove them wrong. They'll be
Exactly.
like,
I
oh,
just-
you're so stupid, and then they'll talk about something interesting, and
I
you'll be
just
like,
read a
I
very-
know this.
I just read a very interesting quote yesterday. It said that never stop your enemy when he's making a mistake.
yeah, and I was like,
Wait, that's no-
And
wow.
that's Napoleon, yes.
Oh,
and that's,
okay.
yes.
I just wrote this down yesterday. It's something you must have heard also that it's like I rather come off stupid and be smart rather than come off smart and actually be stupid.
Yeah.
So they can think I'm stupid and I'll prove them wrong. But if they think I'm smart, well, you already got the right thing. So fine, either ways.
Yeah. And with that, that in that sense, I find that it's like, do you like? Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think that this is the right, like, that liberal arts has come about at the right point of time? Because, like, we, like, India has been there for now, like, what, 65, more than
Almost.
65 years. So, like, like, almost. Yeah. So the thing is that that this education system that we're in, it's like really, really established, and, like, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's reached critical mass, and as a result, when liberal arts comes, it's something that actually a lot of people will turn to and be like, oh, like us, look at it
66.
as our saviors like as its saviors in the sky, because it's sort of just changing the form of education, and it's giving India the kind of workers that it needs. Because when you look at it, that whole concept of the whole mentality that it inculcates in us in our 10th, 11th, and 12th, of working hard and getting those results. If you combine that, if you were to combine that with the wide background of liberal arts, and that variety that liberal arts provides, you're actually going to get more thinkers, more doers than mindless drones.
But that reminds me when you say, like, I've realized that now we're just bashing the Indian education system that is there today and that has been there for a very long time. But if you go back in history and if you see what we actually came from, like the Gurukul system, that was inherently ours and not something that we got in the post-colonial period.
Yeah.
That was extremely liberal. Like, you could do archery if you wanted, and you could do Ved if you wanted and become a doctor.
I want to do archery.
Archery would be so cool. And you were allowed to do all of that, and you were given a basic of anything that was like living in the forest and putting a fire out and taking care of somebody who's in need, because of, like, with herbal and other medicinal products, but not only how to survive in a forest, but actually basics of maths and basics of everything, along with whatever you want to do, from archery to being a doctor. So that's where we come from, and now that we are doing that again, we realize why we really need it, because that's how we actually function.
So basically,
We were always liberal, but the British colonized us.
yeah. So basically, I'm feeling awesome because it seems like we're
Returning
reviving our ancient culture, our ancient heritage.
That's nice.
So
That's about it.
thank you for listening in, and be sure to tune in for more SSLA podcasts.